very pleasant Thursday morning to you. Let me get my bearings right. Perhaps your bearings are a little off too. My bearings are off. But together we're going to bring them back together, right? So it is 11 o'clock and it is the start of Untengle on the Bridge 99. So we did tell you that, first of all, morning everyone. Morning everyone. To facilitate daylight saving time in the United States, we did tell you that we had to make program changes to Untengle on the Bridge. And on Tuesdays, we have the same hours. We have Untengle from 10 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. But we did tell you, for those who didn't hear, on Thursdays, we will Untengle from 11 o'clock in the morning till 2 in the afternoon. For those who joined us on Tuesday, you will realize that there's no longer a global connection with Beau-Regard on a Tuesday. However, you can join us later on between 1 and 2. Between 1 and 2 this afternoon, as we will bring you the global connection as usual. We will have Beau-Regard and myself, and we will do that program as usual. So the global connection on Untengle will only happen on a Thursday and no longer on a Tuesday. And we start on a Tuesday from 10 o'clock in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, and on a Thursday from 11 to 2. And it is now time for us to have a conversation with Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks. Good afternoon, my sister.
What a wonderful afternoon it is.
It is.
Let me tell you something, Queen Elise. You belong on the radio.
Oh, my goodness.
You possess it.
Thank you.
Radio belongs to you. I feel your place that.
Coming from you, my sister, I thank you. Thank you. Yes. So how are you?
I'm all right. I'm fine. You know, in Nigeria, in parts of Nigeria, it's a big place. You can't go and let you know the whole of it. But in parts of Nigeria, you are always fine. So even when you're in pain, the response to how are you is, my spirit is wonderful,
yes,
though parts of my body hurt.
Yes.
That's nice, not true?
Very nice. Because if you have that kind of attitude, you will soon stop feeling some pain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
Amina, you told me something years ago, and I don't even know if you remember it, but I've never forgotten. When you told me that you get paid to be you.
Yeah.
You remember when you told me that? I have never forgotten that.
Me lucky, not true.
That's blessing. That is not luck. That's blessing.
That's blessing, because some people have to leave themselves outside the gate.
Yes.
When them going to work.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, a man called Finlayson, him first name soon come back to me. He's a Bahamian and a management specialist, and he did a study in Trinidad many years ago where private sector people told him about how lazy and unproductive and non-productive their workers were. Some spent 3 weeks with these unproductive, non-productive, lazy people who would go to work at 8:30, leave at 5, go to the pan yard, tune up them pan, play them music, make costume, write them calypso, go to the tents, and get ready for carnival. And so he wrote a recommendation called Festival in the Workplace.
Wow.
You don't know what skills and talents your workers have.
Oh my goodness.
And them stay up until 2 o'clock a morning doing work for which they're not paid, and they're productive and they are happy. What is it that you are not seeing?
Wow.
So me get a chance to tell story, to interact with young people, to sit at the feet of old people, to document our history, to connect some of the dots. That's why I can tell you, say I lie them, I tell about Ananse.
All right then, same way so. You know, can I tell you something, sis? Can I tell you something? That's the first question we have for you. Tell us who was really Ananse, and tell us when the misrepresentation of Ananse started.
When we buck up the Europeans.
I figured so.
And they thought that by Ananse we meant a person named Nancy. Therefore, Ananse Elise, Amina, Ananse, that
Oh.
Ananse was just a woman. And with their disrespect for womanhood, I mean, how dangerous could that little spider be? And in some places, Ananse is called Aunt Nancy because Aunt Nancy is the babysitter, the one who breastfeed your, take our black breast and breastfeed your white children, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can disrespect her afterwards. Where Anansi comes from among the Akan people, he is the god of wisdom.
Wow.
And Anansesem, see my big Anansi sign there. So
Yes.
if you add SEM to that, you get Anansesem, and Anansesem means spider stories. So
Mm-hmm.
Anansi is the god of wit and wisdom. The Europeans translate that to mean trickery, but his wit and
Oh.
wisdom. And the supreme God, when he looked down and saw how foolish human beings were, he called Anansi and gave Anansi a calabash of wisdom to bring down to earth to save the world. People now say Anansi I climbed the tree with the calabash of wisdom. No know what. And I ask him, no know
Scientific.
what. And I ask him what that. And when Anansi tell them say the supreme leader, give him that for bring down to earth. Them start tell Anansi how to carry it. And because Anansi is a democratic person, him I listen to them on his head, for back of his neck, and I arm, till him get confused. And the calabash drop, and the wisdom scatter away. And everybody now who never know what it was, stand up and don't know what to do. When out of the wild bush of Greece, that nobody never knows that it exists, there comes a man and take up some in him hand and taste it, and it tastes good. So him not want a handful, he want a whole plate full, and him call himself Plato, and him gone with the philosophy in that.
Oh,
And him tell him brethren,
oh.
yes,
A Plato do it.
a Plato keep it. Him tell him brethren when name Aristotle, and him come for some. Till now them reach down to a man where could have barely walk, you know. He hip them a hurt him foot a hurt him back all part of him a hurt him. And him come and see the thing in hand and see calabash, and he pick up some and taste it, and he straighten up, and the head yet gone, and the heart right is gone. And that hypocrite walk and say, him Hippocrates is the father of modern medicine. Yes.
Hippocrates. Lord have mercy. No. Look here. Can I tell you something? I have so many
Tell me.
questions for you. But trust me, we could have just sit down right just all day and make you tell me stories. You never know.
Everyone a festival right there, so. But Sister Elise, we know that the knowledge on which the world survives come from our people.
Yes.
We know that the Silk Road wasn't a Chinese something. It was a meeting of spirituality and an exchange of books. And the first item that was ever sold was the book from Axum. And we create that.
Yeah.
And somehow, let me tell you what never happened. In those days, them never have copyright. So the people them who copy it down first and put it on paper, remember copy taker in a primary
Oh
school?
God, yes. Them scopy. A different thing is when you copy, yeah right. But you see when you scopy, me I tell you, you know say you really thief.
You all write down the person name.
Exactly.
And I realize, say, yes,
You remember them days there? You remember them
Yes.
something there? All right, but let me ask you this though, sis. Because we were told Anansi stories by
Right.
our grandparents and parents. And
Right.
in those stories, Anansi was made out to be a trickster. How did our ancestors get that?
All right. Every culture with a valuable folklore has a trickster hero in it. Loki, the Green Giant, the Viking, the whole of them. The fox, Reynard the fox from Europe, the whole of them have a trickster hero. Please tell me why only when it is applied to Anansi does trickster take on a negative connotation.
Yeah,
That's all me ask you.
yeah,
For we salute Brother Fox, we salute the whole of them.
Yeah.
But when we come to Anansi now, something wrong with having a trickster hero. And that's part of the bad public relations under which Anansi has come. It also is the fact, I mean, a lot of research has been done on Anansi, and I've forgotten the name of this researcher now, but he has something called from deity to badman. How did Anansi, who is a deity of the Akan people, end up as this twisted thing where we are? Enough people say enough things. Professor Rex Nettleford said, cause him buck up on a crooked system.
Wow.
And when you buck up on a crooked system, you have to match them crooked for crooked.
Pretty much like what is happening here with the scammers. Them book up on a crooked system too, you know.
And them are crooked. But me now put Anansi in that category.
None tall.
The challenge for me is that having outwitted our brains we use, you know. Our brains we use. Anansi never take up a gun. You can't find a story in which Anansi has used a weapon. You can find many stories in which Anansi is cast in the role of the middleman. So Bakra Masa make a rule, say nobody must say 5 and live. And Anansi find a way to say 5 and live. And Anansi becomes the villain. And we forget say a Bakra Masa did make the rule. The challenge with taking on full scale what the venerable Professor Nettleford said is that having outwitted the system with turn power when another know. It turn a habit, you know. Whatever you do often enough, you become excellent at it. It turn a habit, and we are try outwit one another, con one another, turn general upon one another. And so the wider point I am making is that we need to examine the whole body of what we call folklore and say that did wrong at that time.
Yes.
And it even wrong now.
Yeah.
When we look at our folk songs, some folk songs don't love woman, you know. No. Them say we are heavy load.
Oh, yes, yes.
Money. Them say we eye too shine.
Shine, yeah, girl.
Them cuss with beautiful big lips, so we lip look like liba, we want lipstick.
Remember?
Wrong at that time. And if we just say, look here, we're going to park you. And we're not going to deal with that anymore. So when we come to the Anansi stories, we find that they allowed us to survive. Yeah. Look here, when I was living in Antigua, you see, I came across an Anansi story I'll never forget. Because it is proof to me of how we survive and the mechanisms by which we survive. A little boy named Adekunle, he was 8 years old at the time, told me a story which his Nigerian father, who had never seen the Caribbean, his mother was Antiguan, his father had not yet migrated to Antigua. Adekunle tell me a story that his Nigerian father, who don't know what the Caribbean look like, told him that my Jamaican father, who never take a plane yet, told me when I was little.
Oh, wow.
How you account for the fact that the same content, the same philosophy, the same teaching survived 500 years and an ocean, and we're still telling the stories. So last year, when we had our festival, we had a Ghanaian professor of African history and spirituality talk to our children about who Anansi is, and him said, amongst his people, they believe if you lose Anansi, you lose the nation.
Wow.
So I want different smaddy them know than the one that we have come to know. So we put all the things that we have discovered over the years about Anansi into a book that we're going to launch at the festival, and the book name, The Children Ought to Know.
Absolutely.
Children ought to know that, sorry, go ahead.
No, one of the things that is so very clear is that apart from the fact that storytelling is a part of our oral tradition, it is so very important that we tell our own stories. Because look at Anansi there now. Look which part he reached.
Same way so. Yes. One of the so the festival has a conference component, in which over the years, I'm not saying these things glibly. We have questioned who Ananse is. We
Yes.
research him and we
Yes.
write it down. And 3 years ago, one of the discussions we had was when somebody compare our Jamaican men to Ananse, what them really I say? A big disrespect that, or Ananse, a big disrespect. Ananse was to Ananse and to our men.
Yes. Yes.
Ananse wasn't
Yes.
no gallus. All Jamaican men are not gallus. Ananse
Absolutely.
had a family. Ananse went out looking for work so he could look after his family. When drought hit the village, Ananse picked up himself and said, I am going to find food for this village. So when we have this negative impression of Ananse, and then we then say, but a so Jamaican man still, I what we start that.
Yeah, a while ago, one of the members of staff, right, one of the team said, "Young man," he said, in the thing a while ago, me think Ananse and went thief, and a lot of us thought so too. I know we're going to have to cut, but what we're going to have to take a break. But what I would like you to do first, Dr. Meeks, is to tell us a story, an Ananse story, showing Ananse as the God of wit and wisdom. That we can be
Okay.
left with that and not the memories of what we have in our minds.
Okay.
So we're going to take a break
Okay.
soon.
Yes.
So we have live on Zoom Dr. Amina Blackwood Meeks, and she is a cultural performer, award-winning actress, and custodian of the oral tradition in Jamaica. And she's many other things we will tell you along the way. But we've asked her, before we took the break, we asked her to give us a story about this Akan folk hero that depicts that he is indeed the God of wit and wisdom. My sister.
Where Ananse is from, you get a name according to your purpose. So the first little boy could have see trouble anywhere in the world, same name, see trouble. The second little boy should have come to Jamaica come work, because he used to walk and fix road. And them call him road builder. Oh no, terrible bad! Terrible! The third little boy now did love drink river water. So them call him river drinker. The fourth little boy could have used him little penknife and open any fish. So them call him fish skinner. And then the next little boy was a Jamaican boy with love fling rock stone. So them call him stone thrower. And the sixth boy, nobody had discovered his purpose. But through him nice and round and soft, them call him cushion. Now, Ananse, being a good father, knew that in order to look after his children, he had to find a job. So Ananse dressed up one day, man, in a coat of many colors like I am named Joseph, and decided to go look for a job. But as he was leaving, he was so excited, he forgot to stop at the family altar and say the regular prayer for protection. The first little boy said, no, something bad are going to happen, missy trouble. And so it was. And Nancy was gone for many nights and many days. And the mother said, this never happened yet. We have to go try to find your father. And the first little boy closed his eye again and said, I see father, he's in big trouble. And him little brother them say, where? And him comes up. Like I him name Oliver and say, follow back a me. And the whole of them start follow back on them brother. Until they came to a mountain that was too high. They couldn't climb it. Too wide. They couldn't get around it. So the little one who loved fix road, him just build a road through that, man, and them gone through the rocky road and looked like rain was falling on top of the mountain because the river overflowed its bank, the river being come down. And the third one said, hold on, man, I got this. And him drink it up. when the river dry up, them see one big fish. I suppose like what Jamaicans call a mudfish. And him belly just a go up and come down. And the little boy say, I see father inside the belly of that fish. And the one who named Fish Skinner just take him knife and gently cut the fish. And what do you know? Out plopped Ananse in need of a breath. So they stepped aside so Ananse could breathe. Wrong mistake. Because them hear a sound up in the sky, a very strange sound. When them look up, them see one bird. The bird have a long hook beak. The bird have some feathers that you couldn't tell if they were white or blue. When you look on the bird eye, no, the bird eye red. I don't mean to say he was smoking that thing there. I mean red eye, like I always say, gravalicious and covetous. And his eyes were fastened on Ananse's beautiful coat. So them say, you know what? I the coat him want. The coat that belongs to the father of the nation. We can make plenty more, so make him take it. But he came down and took up the father of the nation and start fly away with Ananse. So the little boy who loved throw stone, my papa.
Just a Jamaican, that one. The Jamaican
I tell
one.
you, he pick up a brown God. He poured into his hand.
Oh my God.
One grown God, and he let it go. Sister Elise, this is a family show, but I have to tell you that the stone clapped him in his forehead.
I like the word clapped. The rest
The
of us.
stone clapped him a lick into the middle of his forehead. And him had to bawl out, why? And him drop Ananse. And Ananse going splatter, you know. You see the little boy who named Cushion? He just roll up, man.
Oh, Lord. We didn't
But his
soft self.
purpose, yes. And Ananse had a soft landing.
Ooh.
And them take him home. And Ananse tell him everything what happened to him on the way. And then Ananse said, I never get no job, but I found a treasure. And I want to give it to the boy who did the most to bring me back. What a passa.
Which
every
one
little boy, every little boy laid claim to it. And Ananse knew that he had to rely on the council of elders. You see, in those days, Sister Elise,
Yes.
we listened to our elders. That's why Ananse is so wise. So he take the problem to the council of elders who told him what to do. And Ananse called them and said, the council of elders said, I am to be very thankful to the little boy who could have see trouble. In chest big up now, you know. He said, no, you could have see trouble from Dan to Beersheba. If your little brother couldn't build the road, he did the same place. That they want to say him. And what about the boy who drink up the river? And what about the one who cut the fish belly open? What about the one who fling the rock stone?
The Jamaican.
Yes. And Cushion said, well, what about me? And Nancy said, at that the council of elders say, it no matter how much talent you have. If it not blend up with somebody else's talent,
there
we
you
not
go.
go achieve nothing.
There you go.
So this thing that I find them say,
yes.
I must put it in the sky.
Oh,
In the day when you see it, you must call it the sun. In the night when you see it, you must call it the moon. But always when you see it, remember this, one hand can't clap. We are brothers and sisters.
Oh my
we always
goodness me.
need one another. And Nancy says so.
Oh my goodness. Pop story, Gary. Pop story,
Yes,
Gary. You
and
know,
Nancy says so.
can I tell you something? I am so happy I asked you to tell that story because many of us don't have stories like that. No, we have it on tape. No, we
Yes,
have recorded
indeed.
it. And we
Yes.
will, yes. So we're going to go back to it anytime we need it. And we are now going to tell that story.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So let us talk about the festival. I know it's actually the longest running festival in the Caribbean.
Yes, we're
Let's
proud
talk
of
about
it.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah, actually, Cayman established their festival in the same year, 1998. And Cayman Festival here out of order, Amina now. Claim say, to them festival 3 weeks older than our one.
Cayman, you listening?
Yes, yeah, we take only 3 weeks from them. We take it away, and we have claims it. Right. And it is the first time a storytelling festival was held in Jamaica. And remains the only storytelling festival in Jamaica. And from the very beginning was an international festival. In the very beginning when the festival was held, we had a teller from China, a teller from South Africa, a teller from Dominica, and a teller from Trinidad. And then the festival was always held in November. That's not quite true because there were 2 years when we took the festival out of November and put it into Child Month and call it Little Story Fest. And in those 2 years, only children told stories. And we became the only festival in the world that children were the tellers.
Wow.
But Child Month is very crowded. So we took it back to November because November is Youth Month, it's Community Development Month, and it's Parenting Month.
Yeah.
All of which can use stories.
Yeah.
And then we asked the Governor General to proclaim November 20 National Storytelling Day because November 20 is the date on which in 1944 universal adult suffrage was promulgated in Jamaica. It is also Universal Children's Day, and we picked that day so we could use storytelling to practically recognize our children's right to heritage and culture. Can I tell you that we use Marcus Garvey as the rationale for the proclamation? All the things Garvey said about children and culture in the proclamation. And we asked for the day to begin in 2014 because that year would have been the 100th anniversary of the UNIA.
Wow.
So like Ananse, we did think it through.
Yes, you thought it through very clearly.
Yes.
And also this year in the celebration, we're going to be having a tribute at the Liberty Hall.
Yes, we always go to Liberty Hall on the Saturday of the festival. Okay. Always. Okay. Sister Samad used to come with us and would tell wonderful stories. Yes. Wonderful. This year, the Saturday coincides with International Men's Day.
Right.
And we always celebrate International Men's Day with only the men telling stories. So this year, only men we're going to hear from. Stephen Golden, who is the UNIA president. We give him a big topic to talk about. Where do we see evidence of Marcus Garvey in male leadership in a Jamaica? Me know say you want to give us a one-word answer, but because if Garvey is the national hero, where we male leader them I say to carry on what Garvey get national heroship for, and that me would I like to know.
We all. So say yes. All of us.
Yes, and so Royal African Soldiers will also be performing, as will Time, the son of the great Count Ozzy, and the mystic revelations of Rastafari. We always love to go to Liberty Hall, always. You can't have anything to do with culture and storytelling and not remember that Garvey used to have these, what he would call a pleasant Sunday afternoon at Elderwys Park. Mm-hmm. Where him put Ronnie Williams on stage. So we could have get to celebrate our original Colon Man. And this year there's a lunch hour concert that celebrates Ananse visits the Colon Man. And we want to celebrate Jamaica's contribution to Central America. You know, say, in doing the research, we find out, say, and just Panama and Costa Rica, we went and built railroads and the Panama Canal. Jamaicans in a Uruguay. A Bill Road. A Bill Road from that time. Yeah. So we were globalized long before that word was invented. Mm-hmm. And so we want our children to know all of these things about us. So the festival combines discussions, little films that we look at, and performances. And this year, for Jamaica 60, and Nancy get clothes. We make a clothes, you know, you have to come to see Ananse in a fashion show. Webs of, yes! Webs of greatness.
But what you know?
We get one Nigerian designer to design a clothes that represents Ananse's journey across the Atlantic. And in the fabric, there is the Akan symbol that means Ananse, but there is also the Yoruba symbol that means eternal life. And that's where Ananse come from, a place of life and light. And what him buck up the calabash, and him buck up the aki, and him buck up the coal stove and the coal iron. So the costumes we're going to be wearing this year tells the story of Ananse's journey from Africa and what him find here and what him do with it.
I mean, I have watched you more than once tell stories to children. And let me tell you something. It's like them want climbing a hill.
Yes.
It's
Get
like
over
them,
here.
yes. If find out more because them not close enough, them want climbing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's awesome. It amazes even me. It amazes me, and I give thanks for the gift.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so there are two age groups that must be present by intention at our festivals. The children must dominate the first day. I feed them something. So they are the opening gala, and we also have a day we call Ananse Goes to School. But if our senior citizens not come, we not feel like we accomplished nothing. So they come and they tell us what stories they remember, whether it's a Nancy story or Bible story, big boy story, but they also tell us the stories of their lived experiences.
Yes.
When somebody can come and tell us, I remember when Emancipation Park was a dust bowl.
Yes.
Those are the things we capture.
I'm seeing flashes of Miss Lou. She is in her element listening to you here now. Yeah,
Yes.
because she fought so hard for this kind of moment, you know? And
Yes,
she was
yes, yes.
alone relatively for a long time in her struggles against government officials et al. However, let's move on. I guess this is the last question. People listening to us on the internet, it's in Jamaica. How can they be a part of this celebration? We can't just whet them appetites on left.
No, we have an Ananse page called Ananse Matters on Facebook. We have a website, Ananse Soundsplash JA. We will be broadcasting all of the legs of the festival. And I'm going to start saying eyes in a little while. I'll soon tell you why. All the legs of the festival on the social media pages of the Jamaica Library Service, our primary partner, and PBCJ will carry some of them live, and the ones they cannot carry live, they will carry later on. But for now, we can tap into the social media pages of the Jamaica Library Service. Please allow me, having mentioned JLS, to say we couldn't do this without Tourism Enhancement Fund, the Chase Fund, CIBC, First Caribbean Bank, Emancipation Park, who give the park free for the opening thing on Sunday. So we give thanks for that. And JCDC, who are mobilizing their communities to have community events that we might not even know about. So we give thanks for that. So far I've been saying that the festival is an 8-legged festival because Ananse have 8 legs.
Look here, me work on that. At the costume,
no, it's a 8 eye and 8 legs.
Yeah.
Because we're making an Ananse mascot, which will not be ready for this festival. And you know, so we research everything where we do.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, one our Nigerian friend said to us, what is the spider that Jamaican children call the Ananse spider? So me have some students at Edna Manley College. So me say, what is the Ananse spider? Bring me the Ananse spider. And everybody bring the same spider. And when Mr. Gentleman looked on it and said, that is the Ananse spider. Because uno thinks Ananse have 2 eyes, spider have 2 eyes. No, some spider have 2 and some have 4. And this spider that Jamaica country children call the Ananse spider have 8 eyes.
Really? 8 eyes and 8 feet?
Yes. A few spider that. Wow. That's why you can't catch him, because he sees you coming. He sees you coming.
Wow.
So yeah, we enjoy discovering.
Oh my goodness. I feel like one of the little picnic there where you always tell a story.
Yes.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Discovering these things.
So this is going to be available to everyone on Zoom.
Yes, locally and internationally.
Right.
We learned that during the COVID years because the festival never stopped.
Yes.
We said, no man, no, this party can't done.
I mean, final words for all those listening. Final words about the celebration of Ananse, whether it's the theme. The theme is an interesting theme. Whatever. Your final words.
Webs of greatness.
Yes.
We comb all our stories for sexism, racism, and violence. The story of the 3 blind mice should never have been told. Somebody attack some blind people. The story of Rapunzel tell us why our children are so sexualized. The story of Cinderella and the stepsister them tell us why Pickney want to bleach. The story of Little Red Riding Hood and the wolf and the other little one who was lost in the forest with 8 little dwarf. What are we teaching our children?
Yes.
So we comb our stories for all the values we don't want ourselves and our children to have. And we say, like Ben Okri of Nigeria, as people are as healthy or as sick as the stories they tell themselves about themselves.
Oh my goodness.
So make us find healthy stories
Same
about
so.
who we are
Same
to
so.
tell ourselves and our children.
We have a lot of response, but let me just read this one in the interest of time. It says, love and blessings to everyone. Thanks to Mama Amina for the knowledge. Thanks for her story, and bless her up. That's for you.
Give thanks.
Have a
Give
wonderful
thanks.
afternoon.
Bless you.
Bless you, my
Walk
sister.
good.
You too.
Walk
Wow,
good.
my goodness. Wow, that was such an interview. This one is on the tapes. This one is on the record. We have this one. We got this one. So we can always refer to this. What an interesting conversation. What a story. It was a history lesson. It was awesome. So that story with those 5 little boys, we will be repeating that one to our children, our grandchildren, and we're going to be using that story to remind ourselves that our Ananse was not a thief. He was an Akan folklorist. He was an Akan hero, folk hero, and he was the god of wit and wisdom. Woo! Excellent. So, any commercial left, or we can just go right into where we're going now? All right. That one was really awesome. So we continue. So we're now ready to join Beau-Regard and the Irie Jam Radio family in New York.
Good afternoon, Mama Kelly.
Good afternoon, Beau-Regard. Long time no see.
Long time. So good to hear your voice. So good to see you again.
Good to see you too. I don't see you. Where you there?
I'm right here. I'm looking at you.
All right, I soon will see you.
Yes, so see me. How was everything?
There you go. See your
There
head
we
back. Good, Nice. Good. So how
That's
your
good.
side?
You look well rested, Mama Kelly, I must say.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Because I did get some rest. I
good.
needed some rest. Good.
And I must say that everybody really and truly missed you while you were gone. But of course, you needed the rest, like you say. Everybody deserves some solitude, as you just heard, like you say in that song. Some peace of mind sometime.
Yeah, man. Same way so. And it's good to come forward too and,
Yes.
to do what we have to do.
True indeed.
Yeah, man.
So how's everything, Mama Kelly?
So, what has been happening our side now? Sometimes it's so much things on my mind before me start talking. I say, I'm going to tell Beau-Regard that. I'm going to tell Beau-Regard that. And then when I have time to tell you, I forgot everything. Oh, my goodness. But good. And the weather is getting a little bit cooler this side. Thank God for that. Not much, but a little bit. So, you can see.
Well, we can't complain on this side because it's been getting a little bit warmer
Really?
on this side. Yes, to say the least. Like all of last week was great weather, exceptional weather, weather that we did not even expect. Today we're back in the 60s again, so it's looking great. Even going up to until about Sunday, where we should have about 70 degrees or something like that. So.
I keep forgetting that we are in a different space because when you say we're having wonderful weather, it's getting warmer. That's not what we say here in Jamaica. We say we're having wonderful weather, it's getting cooler.
Well, for this time of the year, it's nice at this time of the year when we have warm weather.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
man.
I got you.
But other than that, Mama Kelly, the things that have been captivating the media space on this side since you took your vacation is the fact that election day, everybody was looking forward to election days, and that came and went on Tuesday, and we are still unclear as to who will be in control of the Senate and the House and things of that nature. There are some states that are still being counted with the votes. Some states are very close to call. States such as Arizona and Nevada and Georgia, they're looking like they will have a runoff election in Georgia because it's that close. So they might have to do over that election. But any party that actually wins 2 out of those 3 states, they will be in control. That's how it's looking so far.
Okay. And there's a debate. The debate is really around the choice for life or not, right?
Well, there are a lot of things. Abortion is one of the big topics on the agenda. The economy is also there. There's healthcare and education and a lot of things. But abortion is definitely one of the big topics that the candidates are running on.
I was hearing some of the laws that abortion laws, and it really seems as though that they need to be analyzed, because even if you're against abortion or pro, it doesn't matter. Just looking at what is in the Constitution or looking at what some of the states have as law, the antiquated laws, and they definitely need to be changed. I'm not quite sure why it's not obvious to the lawmakers. Why is it not obvious?
I'm not sure, Mama Kelly, but there's been a lot of protests, and I believe that a lot of women have, voted in this, voted for the candidates who are pro-life and things of that nature. So, it's just looking away right now to see that this is one of the topics that we have to be discussing, whether, a child should live or die.
But it's not just about pro-life, because it seems as though different states have different laws. And there are some laws that don't bend at all. Like, for example, incest. If there's an incest involved, if there's rape involved, those things seem to be not considered in some states. And, I don't know how just that is.
Mm-hmm. And there's the fact that, women want to be able to make the choice as well. That's one of the big issues involved in abortion right now. So, we continue to watch it, Mama Kelly, and just see how it turns out.
Yeah, interesting, very interesting.
And that's why we encourage people to vote, because
Yes.
that's one of the ways you're going to get the change or the things that you want done or the people that you want in office to impact the changes that you want in your community.
Absolutely.
Or around the country. So, we encourage everybody to go out and vote, and many people went out and vote. Also, we see in history being made in states such as Maryland, where they elected their first black governor. A 44-year-old black man was elected to being the governor of the state of Maryland. His name is Wesley Moore. So we say congrats to him.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Here in Jamaica, we say, a blacker man. No, but something though.
Mm-hmm.
Eh? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you heard what Lafayette said? He's
Yes,
from Westmoreland?
Yes.
His family is from Westmoreland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Something, as I hear you, every time I hear you say things like that, like, a new governor, and he's either a black man or a Caribbean person, and, it brings home the difference in terms of experiences that we have as Jamaicans have. And perhaps that's why, no disrespect to anyone, but perhaps that's why we as Jamaicans think the way we think when we go overseas and accomplish what we do, because we have never really been in a space where we aren't in control, especially the past 3-4 generations. We've always seen ourselves as leaders, property owners, well, kind of. But you get the point.
Yes.
We always, sometimes our brothers and sisters who have never had this experience is as though they can't put themselves in the space of having property or abundance or being leaders, and is something that you celebrate when you're actually, voted into some position of leadership. And it makes a difference when you've not had that, as opposed to when that is the order of the day.
Well, Mama Kelly, I'll go even a little further as to say that, many things that, we see happening now, it has been done before, but it was just never publicized. Black people have been in positions of leadership where kings and queens, our history tells who we really are, but in today's society, it just seems like a first for many things that we do.
Exactly. And I have that issue even when we're celebrating Black History Month. The first black person to do so and so. We've been doing so and so for generations.
for a very long time.
Yeah. I know it's some kind of big deal because, we're the first black person to do whatever. But anyway, I understand it, but you know the point I'm making. I don't like the wording of it. It's as though
Mhm.
we've never done it before, and this is what we're doing now.
Or we're just coming up or something like that.
Exactly. You know. Yeah.
Right.
So there's
We understand, Mama Kelly.
Yes. Good.
Also, one of the big stories here, Mama Kelly, is I've mentioned his name to you before. His name is Kyrie Irving, a basketball player who, back during the pandemic, he was one of those who did not want to take the vaccine, and he ended up didn't taking the vaccine, and he had to sit out a whole season of not playing basketball for a very long time. However, he's back in the news again with a huge controversy surrounding his name. The other day, he posted on his Instagram a link to a documentary called From Hebrews to Negroes. And in that documentary, they're saying that it had some anti-Semitic sentiments in there. And at a press conference, the reporters came at him asking him if he was anti-Semitic, which he was saying he cannot be anti-Semitic because he knows who he is. However, there's been a huge backlash since that he's been asked to apologize by the NBA. He's been suspended 5 games from playing. They've asked him to donate $500,000 to the Anti-Defamation League. They've asked him to go through anti-Semitic training. They've asked him to go through sensitivity training.
Anti-Semitic training.
I'm naming the list. It's a list of 6 things they're telling him to do before he's allowed to play basketball again. Even the Nets owner came out and said, the organization came out and said that he's unfit, quote unquote unfit, to be in the organization. So now, you know, with all the backlash, even Shaquille O'Neal went on TV, called him an idiot. Charles Barkley went on TV. You know, they were coming at him. But we all know how that goes, Mama Kelly. You know, and the big thing about it is now that people are now fighting back and standing up and saying this is too much, because he came out since and apologized.
Did apologize.
And, you know, they're asking him to do these things.
So why was his apology not accepted?
They're saying he did it too late because he did not do it in front of the reporters at the press conference. They're saying it might have been too late when he apologized. So now, you know, people are looking into the thing and they're saying, well, how are you going at him for posting a link when the actual video is on Amazon?
Exactly. And nobody going there.
Nobody's going there.
Exactly.
At him, at the owners of Amazon or whatever.
I wondered about that.
And the news is not talking about that. Nobody's saying anything about where the movie is and where they're actually profiting from the movie. Even Shaquille O'Neal was called out because they did some digging and research. One thing, you know, Mama Kelly, with today's society, you can't dig up anything.
True.
They went and they dug up and they found out that one of Shaquille O'Neal's movie theaters had showed the movie back in 2018. So now they're calling him a hypocrite. They're all over his social media page saying, how can you disrespect Kyrie Irving when your theater actually profited from showing this movie? So
are people as passionate about people who make anti-black comments?
No, it's not treated the same way sometimes. You know, we have seen a lot of people of other races and, you know, say things about, of other ethnic backgrounds, say things about black people, and, you know, it's never been blown up in a certain way.
Is it because we are not insisting that that is blown up?
We're not united. We don't stand with each other more time.
Yeah, look at even this case here.
And that is the thing. And we're not saying anyone should say anything against any group of people. You know, but sometimes you have to pick sense out of nonsense. When you see they do certain things, and if you apologized already and they're trying to, you know, this is like a public whipping. Call it that way.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to put him in his place in front of everybody else to say, you don't try it either.
Yeah, but isn't this gentleman known for controversial statement? Well, apart from the fact that him not take the vaccine, no controversial about that. Him just not take it.
I'd go back to certain things, Mama Kelly. You know, even the other day because he has now lost his deal with Nike.
Yeah. They
dropped him. We saw where Adidas dropped Kanye the other day, and you know, you go back a little further and you look at it when Kanye said slavery was a choice. Them never drop him.
That's what I mean. That's
Or
the point I
anything.
want to make. That's
You know?
but something though. In all fairness, we are the ones who must make the uproar, because it's the Jewish community that making the uproar when people say things against them. But when people say things against we don't make no uproar, and we come in like we feel like say people are gonna make uproar for we in a way. America.
But now a lot of people are coming to his defense and saying this is too much. He has already came out and apologized. He actually didn't. People are saying that, for him posting the link, they understand if people come at him, but they're coming at him too hard.
I guess we have to just remember where we are, I mean, we can't, certain people country not going like our place with it. Anyway, that is that. That's one of the reasons why sometimes we don't talk no woolly for something against them, something because it coming at the Indian them place, but who making the laws and the powerful people, you're not gonna come against them. Not in America. Anyway, we're going to have to take a break. Living in America, boy, no good. Cause them would have done me things long time. Anyway, we could take a break. But I guess people say the same thing about we in Jamaica, cause we are taking nothing too. So
We'll be right back.
we'll be right back.
And the voice you're hearing in the background, he goes by the name of Sanchez, aka Mr. Kevin Jackson. And so we have him as our special guest today, Mama Kelly. I am so excited about this interview.
Yes, so am I. Greetings, Sanchez.
Greetings, mama. I know respect, Jenna, big up yourself.
Blessings, Sanchez. Really and truly, man.
Man, I swear to God, Mama Elise, man, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Good to hear from you, though. And we catch you in your birth month.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going up there, but we still feel, we feel, if not younger.
Yes, that's nice. That's beautiful.
But Sanchez, you look the same way. Bridget. You don't look like you're age a bit.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, we give thanks. We just try to keep it, easy, minimal,
Nice.
and party less and,
You're partying less?
really keeping in. Say again, Mama?
You're partying less?
Yeah, man, of course. Of course. Because we have to do that, to keep up, keep the
Exactly.
body in tune.
Exactly.
And also the voice, because, we have sleepy voice. And
Yeah, well, go so indeed.
Sanchez, speaking about keeping the body in tune, talk to us about how did the pandemic affect your journey?
to be honest, it didn't really affect it too much, because there's a lot of things I have learned through the pandemic, like calling my friends when I never used to and spending certain times talking about certain things. It's not the same, not the same old anymore. Sometimes the tune change and it's all about pandemic and the suffering and, the whole lockdown system and everything. So that really brought me close. I would say much closer to a lot of my peers and my friends and stuff. So it was good enough.
It's interesting to hear you say that, Sanchez, because we've been talking to quite a few people, artists in particular, and it seems as though most of us were kind of, although we never want to be locked in, but someone like you who is always on the road, sometimes from living from suitcase to suitcase. I can just imagine what a refreshing break it was.
Yeah. I swear to God, that's the perfect way to, to explain it. Yeah,
man.
I would have said that, Mama, for real, because, for real, man. Because I never used to talk to a lot of people, and now I'm talking to them, and I'm getting to learn a lot more stuff, and we're getting closer, and this is what I've always wanted, Elise.
Yes. Get you loud and clear.
Sanchez, it's funny, Mama Kelly say, living from suitcase to suitcase. One thing I must say, you always have the right outfit in that suitcase.
That's true, man.
Outfit always proper.
That's for real.
Yeah, man. Come like Pinchers, you know, me, so I'm travel with all. Yeah, all right, we have a one show. I'm travel with all 3-4 suits. Just, you know, cause maybe we might just pick up one. So we just want, you know, maybe change. So that's how we do it, man.
You come out of that era, you know, Sanchez. You come out of the era where man have a clean for stage.
Yeah, man. All right. When it comes to cleanness, you see a man named Pinchers, him no play around. Pinchers used to rehearse him dressing. Remember when I tell you, Mama Ellie?
Wow.
Like all in the daytime, we will be at the hotel and thing and me boom, boom, boom for my door and when me look. He must say, oh, me look.
I believe you. I believe you.
I will love it, Mama. I swear.
That's true. And then we have people like Gregory Isaacs who film suit them fitting for that level where we can't drop the ball, you know.
Yeah, man, I really think, man, I look out on the bed. When you look, man, a 4 suit left on the bed, man, before you choose.
Yeah, man, we love it. Love it, love it. You know, something I've never asked you before, and it might sound like a simple question, but I've never asked you before. How you get the name Sanchez?
Why, Mama? All right, you know, me and Flower got all our way part together and things. So, we were over the beach one time and I kicked some ball and thing, and I remember I squared the ball across and I BAM! Cross. And the man them said, Jono, you know, you wicked like the boy we play for Colombia with him Sanchez. And I said, Sanchez? Yeah, why you to play for Colombia named Sanchez? I said, me like that name there too, you know. A matter of fact, you see that name there, that name them one.
Just like that?
From that day until this day is Sanchez.
Okay, nice, okay. So you get named after a footballer?
Yeah, man, I square something cross, man. Square it cross, wicked.
Sanchez, talk to us about your humble beginnings, brother. Talk to us about the early years. What kind of child was Sanchez?
You know, the type where you have to come from school at a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
When you come home, you make sure so your homework get done and you wash back your socks. Or sometimes you have to wash back all your top or something. Because, your uniform got to mess up and we have to get it back or one year. Yeah. And then I know, so now Sunday come now and I forgot Sunday school and church, the midday. And then I know, say, like Wednesday now a young people's meeting and Thursday night a young people's service and, it go right down until choir practice Saturday and all of that.
Sound like you were very involved in the church.
Yeah.
Not surprised to hear that.
I'm glad. I'm so proud of it right now because, it helps a lot that because, it just sometimes, some people just make you just want to say, you just want scream. For real,
But you come from a long line of local and international artists. In fact, the best of the best started or understood how beautiful they sang in church.
Yes, Mama. Yes,
and
Mama.
When I hear you sing, it's a beautiful thing.
Gregory was in the church, Dennis was in the church, and those are the best of the best.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
And we see where
Richard Stevens, the whole of them, and let me tell you, man, they can blow. And you know what I'm talking about. No umpy, nothing. They can blow.
Yes, same, sir.
Not to mention myself, because it taught me a lot, man. For real. But you have this altar section, Mama Elise, and you have to be singing altar.
Yes.
And you're singing that all month long.
Yes.
You have best can, and they're singing that all month long. You have lead, you have tenor, you have the whole of them. I mean, come on.
Yeah. You're also known for your lovers rock. But, I've always wanted to ask you, where are you most comfortable? Perhaps it's an unfair question, but are you more comfortable singing your lovers rock, or are you more comfortable doing your gospel? Because you knock off the two of them,
Well, basically, I would say, Mama Elise, they're the same. Because lovers rock, we're just singing about love, and we're not getting explicit. And the church thing is the same thing. We're singing about Jesus, yes, but we're singing about his love,
yes,
and his kindness, Yeah, so
Yes.
I would say it's the same thing in a sense. That's why maybe they're so close.
I love that answer.
And I've done so well with both. Yeah.
I love
You know,
that
hearing
answer.
hearing you sing a song like Amazing Grace is one of
Yeah.
the best renditions I've ever
Ever
heard in my
heard.
whole entire life.
Ever heard.
You know, and you see where the church impacts your career with songs like, you know, Praise Him. And even this morning, and the song I played before you came on here, Never This the Man with the Angle. You know, all
Yeah,
big
Freddie
tunes.
Jackson told me that. We did a show, I forget where. Some I think it's New York or something. And after the show, he came backstage and he said to me, "Man, that's the best rendition of Amazing Grace I've ever heard. How did you do it like that?"
Freddie Jackson.
Freddie Jackson.
And he's
He
one
wanted me to
crooner.
tour with him and stuff, but some little thing happened and it never really got through.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
You know, Sanchez, I heard I'm a selector, DJ. I play a sound system as well, King of these. And I've heard that in your early career, you were also a selector.
Yeah, man, buckle drinks and them something.
That was the name.
Yeah. Buckle drinks, you see me? Yeah,
Wow.
in general, you know. And to be honest, I did love the part where, you know, the party style where you play that the like a discos and the nice soul music, and you know, that's my part. I wanna come on the thing, but overall, yeah, love music, yeah, man. So I will even stand around the sound and select it all night.
So how you got into sound system? One would have thought that with a voice like yours, you go.
Why, Mama Elise, what a question. If my mother did I hear you right now, should have hug you up to next thing. Mama Elise, I was so rude and oh God, unruly, and I'm coming from church and I hear a party going on and I would stop away from the party and go and listen some little thing and listen. And that's what drawed me. I mean, I don't know, Mama Elise. I mean, it is what it is, man.
It is what it is because the music was in your soul from long time.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Very much so.
Mama. Of course, may I tell you the truth, because it's like, you know, you're passing through the area and you hear, I mean, remember sound system, you play the regular song, you play some nice songs where you well hear from long time.
True.
And them things that make you stop and say, next you hear the man. Reggae is at the bud.
Yeah,
then him
man.
jam and then it's after that. Then him going to and then him a go down a John Wall. No, me I said, John.
You had to be part of that.
Me I said, no, would I love to be a part of that. And then you were a pass now. I was a pass and you and then me see Mike. And when me look now, me see two artists with them ragging at them back pocket and them look different, them look cool. And I said, John, something like that.
Artists like who, Sanchez? Tell me who were in the dance all them days
I
ago.
remember when we used to go watch June, Cat.
Okay.
I used to go watch Cat. I used to go watch all of them, Nicodemus and them. Used to go up in a aki tree, mama. Yeah, my mama. Up in a tree and the limb way down so but me have to go to the closest where me can really see them, you know?
Yeah.
See the movements and things, and we did and I watch it, and mama, it was a graceful sight, man. Me I tell you, man, I say, you know, so me love that something there.
Yeah.
When you have command over people, them with their voices, a big thing. I feel it's the biggest thing.
The
because right now I
wonderful
eat around
thing.
America and I eat around the world, mama, you know.
Yeah. So did you ever feel while you were watching all of that, did you think to yourself, I'm going to knock it one day, you know? I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I said it, but I said if I get the chance, because I know my mama always did it with a piece of whip and the whip of
Oh my God. We're going to take a commercial break.
My mama, and I always say, boy, I would have do it, you know,
But mama.
me.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break and then we will come forward. Beau-Regard would ask that question, all right?
You know, before we go to the commercial break, Mama, that show that Sanchez was talking about with Freddie Jackson, that was actually an Irie Jam show here in New York at the Resort World Casino.
All right.
Yes, man.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Yes, Mr. Energy.
There you go. There you go.
All right, we'll be right back.
Right.
Sanchez, aka Mr. Kevin Jackson. Kill them with original songs.
Selector.
Hold on, pull up.
Damn tune there.
Wow. This is the latest project, Mama Kelly. The latest song from Sanchez that we have been blazing over here in New York City, Connecticut, and New Jersey on Irie Jam Radio. And a lot of people have been playing it on the Bridge 99 FM as well. In this song, the man says a long time the man had do it from the 80s through the 90s up until now.
See him, sir.
Talk to us about this song, Sanchez.
I know me say so. I mean, things so. But all of this, Hannah, straight to Richie Stevens. Listen, he called me and he said to me, say, "Singer, me have a rhythm where I work with him. I can't leave you outside." I'm going to say, "All right, General." And I had the rhythm for about like 3 days. And for some reason, me just say, me call him back and say, "Richie, you feel you can pen something because, you know, just want a difference." And him say, all right, General, no problem, singer. The man said he took 1 day, Mama, to write this. Sent it back to me the following day, demoed. And if I should play the demo for you right now, you would wonder why Richie would give this song to me.
Oh my goodness.
That's why. Oh God, man.
Oh.
But let me ask you this, though, Sanchez. This is very interesting what you said. You wanted something different. Does this happen often where you just want something different? You need it from somebody else and you ask a virgin like Richie Stevens. How often this happens?
That's what I tell you, said the pandemic did all of this.
Yes.
Right now, teared up.
Yes.
Because the heart that the man have is so kind.
Nice.
You know, it just puzzles me. It puzzles my mama.
That's so beautiful for you to say.
I said to the man, I called him and I said, "Richie, oh, you came with this song and I'm listening to your song and it's not like that. I mean, it's nice, but it's not grabby like this." He said, "Singer, you asked me to do something and I'm doing it from my heart."
Oh my God. Beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Man, with your statements. Anyway, the man, enough love. Oh, I love you know that. From me, my man, yo, everybody, man, my wife, everybody love you to death, you know that.
That's so beautiful. You know, it's nice. Beau-Regard, isn't that wonderful to just hear people who are supposed to be competing with each other not doing it?
Yeah, not doing it.
And that's the unity that we need. That's the unity that we need to see displayed in the music.
Yeah.
You know, great artists in their own right. You know,
for sure, man, if it wasn't for the pandemic, it wouldn't be like this, Mama, because which I'm a virginess, we both know that we're a virgin and thing, but it wasn't so close, it wasn't so intense.
Yes.
Because sometimes when things lick me wicked, I'm a call Richie and I say, "Richie, you know something I'm going to do this, I know something I'm going to do that." And the man send me back a nice voice note and say, "Listen me, Kevin, Mr. Jackson, you're not going to do nothing. What you're going to do, you're going to go to the show and you're going to do your best. And this and that." Is always encouraging, Mama. Always.
Speaking of going to the show and doing your best, you know, while we're here talking, of course, you know, the listeners are listening. So someone sent this, and it's a poster that says "Live in Concert, Sanchez, Jamaica, Tambo Negril, March 8. And then the person showed me another video and them say, "This was my favorite trip. We saw Marcia, Yellowman, and Sanchez singing on the beach. We were on our way back from lunch and we were chatting how we wanted one of the signs from the show. Our taxi driver stopped when we saw a proper sign, and the Rastaman gave him a stool, and the two of them got off the sign after the post."
I remember it so well, yeah.
But you know what I want to ask you though, Sanchez? I've seen you literally mash up show. You're there on the stage all over the world, and you just bring the house down. And then when you come off the stage, you're just so humble. And I've thought to myself so many times, if certain artists did just the quarter that we couldn't talk to them, what keeps you so humble?
That's the reason you just said it, because some of us, you see them over there, you don't even want to look their way. Believe me. I don't want that for me. I do not want that from me, Mama Elise.
Yes. You want people
I
to
would
love
like to be the artist that even a baby could step to me with a pen in his hand and a piece of paper. He doesn't have to say what he needs. I know what he needs.
Yes, yes. You are
So
that person.
Go on my knees, stoop down to his level, and I will sign it.
Oh my goodness.
Sign it. I don't even have to put my name or anything. I've done it so many times, man. So, it's great to be humble, man. As a Tiger Cat would say, it's nice to be important. But it's way more important to be nice.
Absolutely.
Sanchez, I commend you for being the person that you are and just for being yourself. You are a household name. I've grown up on your music. Like I said, I'm a selector, so I've been playing your music for many years. And you have done your work, brethren. And in terms of the song that you have done called Original Song, I mean, the catalog that you have, your music speaks for itself, brethren. Your voice alone is one of the best voices in reggae music. And I don't want to take this anyway. If you never do a next original song in your life, you did what you needed to do for our culture and our music. That is what I want to say.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man. Thank you so kind, Dad. Thank you so kind, man.
I remember seeing you on Rebel Salute, right? And Rebel Salute kind of hardcore with it, more Rasta kind of thing. And you were on and you were on
like
Rebel
a cherry,
Salute.
just a cherry, just.
But watch this now, Sanchez. You see, when you start go down into the gospel, me I said to myself, I want to go on now. Yeah. Me say the Rasta woman them start the singing first, and you see when them go down into the gospel radio, them virgin not have no choice but to start to sing the gospel with you.
When music touch your soul, man. When music touch your soul, there's no boundaries, man.
Don't.
Yeah, man. I really talk, man. When music. Man, it will get to you.
Yeah, man.
How do you feel about the music ban that we now see in happening in Jamaica, and what are your thoughts on preserving the culture and the music for generations and visitors to come?
Very, 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 very important.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's slipping away from us. God bless the few of us who are still standing and holding up that flag. Because some of us were standing, but we shame me. We are trying to hide behind some little people where I don't understand. But I'm alone, man, and I will go down that way because we have something here that look, I've been in Sears, Walmart, all of these places, and I'm listening to reggae music. Segment of reggae music. I mean just Sanchez. I mean Sanchez singing melody. After that, Christopher Martin. After that, that's great, man. Yeah. That's great. But where is it going now? Because it's still killing, Some man promote something where I couldn't say in my time. It would be surely NFFP. Not fit for NFFAP.
Yes.
Not fit for airplay. Yeah. That's that stamp upon it long time. So. It's not good for our culture. It's not good for our kids coming up on them things because you see what's happening, man. It's not taking nothing for a man just decide him or kill you, So
yeah,
it's just what we hear every day and what we live, man. We need to, just do the right stuff, man, and start promoting the right things.
And it's not good for the artist, Sanchez, because I said the very same thing to Richie when we had a conversation with him. Artists like yourself and others like you have withstood the test of time.
Yes,
You're still on stage. You have generations that's still listening to you. These artists that you're talking about, some of them are realizing it, though, Some of them are realizing it, that them not have no longevity after them kill 2 men and rape 2 girls. I hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, but why again? Why we need to rape 2 girls and kill 2 men? Bro, I don't understand, Mama.
It's not working for them. It might seem popular, but it is not working for them. And there are a few of them who are realizing it, who are understanding that when certain people come from...
I love how you said that.
Yeah, when people come from all over the world.
I love how you said that.
And them come to the studio.
It might be popular,
yes.
It's not working.
It's not working.
Yeah.
It's not. People still asking for dub from Sanchez. We'll always be asking for that. We'll always be booking shows with people like you. That's working.
Yeah.
Speaking of dubs, Sanchez, what can we expect musically? We know this song is out there now, it's being promoted, original songs. It's not going to stop being played here on Irie Jam and the Bridge 99 FM and around the world. But what else do you have in the pipeline coming up?
No, man, it's an LP we're doing, you know.
Okay.
Richie Stevens called me back and he said to me, Kevin, you know what I'm here thinking? That's my wife here talking and thing, and she said, you know, wouldn't it be good for you just, you and Kevin just do a LP? You do everything and let him do what he's doing. And I'm going to say, you serious, Richie? And him say, yes, I would like you to do an original LP.
Wow.
And I'm going to do most of the writing. I say, just let's go, man. Let's go. Nothing more. And right now, Mama, we have some songs. Kill them with the original song, a joke.
You know,
mercy,
and that keep you young, you know. And that keep you young, you know, Sanchez.
I mean, you know, Richie is always intellect certain way, you know, intellectual, and him love to, you know, pronounce this, and him love to be proper. That's great. I mean, that's why he's doing what he's doing. He's doing the right thing.
Yes, he is doing the right thing.
You know, Sanchez, just before you go, we see that the World Cup is coming up. I mean, know you're a footballer, so you get your name. Who are you predicting to win the World Cup?
God, man, you know, so me can't deal with this. That's something I'm gonna make some people blow up my page and I want to keep me in my head, you know, man. No, that man. Oh God, have mercy. But I can't tell you bona fide still. Me nah leave.
Him free for talk.
God knows, sir. We know that's something I'm going on, but I want to tell you, I just said that day to me and Josh man talk about the same thing, you know. Me I tell you, say, God, remember have a different side and me have a different side. Same way, so.
Come, Josh man, tell him to talk.
You know, during the pandemic, one of the things that I saw you doing also, Sanchez, was drawing. Are you an artist?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't proclaim myself to be an artist, you know, but I know I can make out something that you can understand it very well.
That's lovely.
Yes,
that's
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's creative.
Yeah. And I can't use my hand when I used to go to school. I used to draw scenes and stuff, and I used to even get paid to do that. I used to draw that on the covers of a lot of my friends' books that they take to school. Would I draw all a nice like a hillside with the sun and trees right there, and yeah, it was good like that.
Nice.
I didn't really pursue that character.
We're happy that you decided to sing, cause
Mama.
Yeah.
You see, when it touch lunchtime, right now,
it's
just a pity to next week. Me gonna make you talk to me principal right now. You see, when it touch lunchtime, Mama.
Yeah.
Sanchez classroom ram.
And it's with art. It's not with singing. It's with art.
Listen, me, Mama. I am beating the desk. I am using my hand to make the boom boom. Boom boom.
Yeah,
I'm making that and I'm singing. I'm not telling them a classroom ram.
Yeah, what?
I'm Elise, me not afraid for talking. I'm telling my wife, you know, when we used to go to school, like 8 women, me having a one.
I can imagine. No, I can imagine. Look here, you have to hold it down till you're still hot.
8 girlfriends.
Wow.
So, you know, from them time, then they know the first concert we had in the auditorium, when name Derek Barnett came to play. That's the first time I met Derek Barnett. And when me done sing, the man come to me and say, "Youth, how are your name?" You say you're wicked enough.
Yeah, man, you're bad, man. You're bad and humble with it, sweet with it. Not nice like when somebody a genius and humble with it. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. For real, man.
All right, Mama Kelly.
But it would even look good again, you know, Mama. You know, say these people, all of my fans, them now. And them say fence, you know, when them a lick down fence, my
them say fence.
Imagine them use big stick and lick down fence. flat ground. And I meet them on mic and sitting next morning, me just pass back on there, run some money, mama. You don't know the thing go.
Yeah, me know the
pick
thing
up back
go.
the fence and sit in a railway.
Why, Mama, we have about a minute left. We have about 1 minute left to go, Sanchez. And I'm telling you, this is no better way than to have our first day back together, Mama Kelly, than to have Sanchez, this superstar, this mega superstar out of Jamaica. Trust and believe.
Thank you, mama.
Give thanks.
Keep doing what you're doing, Mama Elise.
I will,
We love
and you too.
so much.
Love
We love you
more.
so much.
Love you
Sanchez,
more.
happy birthday when it comes as well, Bridget.
And thanks, man. Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
man.
All right, one of our listeners says Unity, Richie, and Sanchez inspiration rare these days. I'm stand up with that. That's so true. You're true, man. Bless up yourself, my darling. Bless up your family. Bless up your wife, and everybody send me love.
Same to you, mama. Love you, man. Same to you.
All right. Blessed love. Beau-Regard. Beau-Regard.
Yes, Mama.
You know what I'm remembering as we sit here? I'm remembering when we were a little disappointed because we lost Tuesday. And I remember you said to me, Mama, make we make the best side.
Just same way, so.
So we'll make the best side. You saw
We
the most side
definitely
up on
did.
which side?
All right. Yes, he is. Well, Mama Kelly, it's been a pleasure. And to the listeners in Jamaica, bless up yourselves. Until next time.
Same so. Heart of love. It's now 2 o'clock. Hey, Nikki! I love you. Long time I know see Nikki because we don't work till 2. So Nikki's here. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And Nikki's here to take you through On the Bridge 99 FM. Heart full of love. Bless up.